Welcome back to Luxury Auto on the channel where we usually explore the world of high-end cars, cutting-edge technology and refined living, but sometimes we take a detour into the dramatic roads of celebrity scandals and unforgettable television moments. Today's story is about Prince Harry and how his fiery appearance on Bill Maher's show turned into one of the most talked-about clashes of the year. What began as a light-hearted interview quickly transformed into a heated argument that ended with Prince Harry being asked to leave the stage in front of a stunned live audience. This is the full story, from the first polite exchanges to the explosive ending and the aftermath that has since gone global. It all started with anticipation. Bill Maher, known for his quick-wit sarcasm and unapologetically blunt style, had teased his audience all week that Prince Harry would be joining the show. Harry was there to discuss his projects, his foundation work, and perhaps to share personal reflections on stepping away from royal duties. The audience packed into the studio expecting sparks, but not the kind they eventually witnessed. As the lights dimmed and the applause rang out, Bill walked onto the stage greeting his fans with his trademark grin. After delivering a few sharp monologue jokes, he welcomed his special guest, introducing him as Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Harry walked out sharply dressed and smiling, though there was a hint of tension behind his expression. He shook Bill's hand, sat down, and the crowd erupted in cheers. But right from the start, the conversation had an uneasy edge. Bill welcomed him warmly but quickly joked about royalty living in California. Bill quipped, "So tell me, Harry, how's life in the colonies?" Harry gave a tight smile and replied, "It's California, Bill, not the colonies." But the laugh from the audience seemed to sting more than soothe. Bill, being Bill, pressed further, tossing out lines about taxpayer money, palace drama, and whether Harry was enjoying Hollywood more than Buckingham Palace. Harry tried to remain composed, steering the conversation toward his charity work, mental health advocacy, and his efforts to support veterans. But Bill wasn't interested in staying in safe territory. His audience expected edge, confrontation, and satire, and he was determined to give it to them. The turning point came when Bill asked directly, "Harry, don't you think it's a bit hypocritical to criticize the monarchy while still using your title and enjoying the privileges it brings?" The audience gasped. Harry's smile vanished, his jaw tightened, and he leaned forward, his voice low but sharp. "I don't think you have the right to question what I have lived through, what my wife has endured, and what my children have faced." Bill raised his eyebrows, smirking slightly, and replied, "I'm a comedian, Harry. Questioning privilege is literally my job." From that moment, the interview turned into a duel of words. Harry accused Bill of mocking his life for ratings. Bill shot back that Harry himself had turned his private struggles into public entertainment through books, interviews, and documentaries. Harry insisted he had chosen to speak out to protect his family. Bill countered with, "You chose to cash in on your family drama." The audience gasped again, some applauding, some booing. Harry's face flushed. He raised his voice, saying, "This is not about money, this is about survival." Bill didn't back down, leaning into his chair, arms crossed, saying, "Come on, Harry, you and me both know your survival looks a lot like a Netflix deal." The laughter from the audience only made Harry angrier. He stood up for the first time, pacing in front of the table, pointing at Bill, saying, "You sit there and make jokes while my wife was nearly broken by the press, while my mother died because of the same machine, and all you can do is laugh." Bill replied calmly, "Harry, I make jokes because sometimes that's the only way to deal with power, especially when the powerful don't like being challenged." The studio atmosphere had shifted entirely. It was no longer an interview, it was a confrontation. Harry refused to sit back down, his voice rising. He accused Bill of disrespect, of belittling the struggles of his family. The audience was divided. Some clapped in support of Harry, others shouted for Bill to push harder. The tension was electric. Producers backstage whispered frantically, deciding whether to cut to a commercial break, but Bill waved them off, letting the argument unfold live. Harry's voice cracked with emotion as he said, "You don't understand what it means to live every day under attack, to have your motives questioned constantly." Bill responded, "You're right, Harry, I don't. I was never a prince, but I also never expected sympathy while living in mansions and flying private jets." The crowd erupted with cheers at that line. Harry's face darkened. He shouted back, "You think this is about money? You think this is about palaces? It's about dignity, about protecting my family from a cycle that killed my mother." Bill leaned forward, his tone sharper now. "Harry, I respect your pain, but you can't come on shows like this, use your title, promote your projects, and then refuse to answer tough questions. That's not how it works." The crowd clapped loudly. This time Harry looked at the audience, visibly shaken, his voice dropping to a cold tone, "Perhaps you are not the man to understand what responsibility means." And with that, the producers made the call. Security approached the stage discreetly but visibly. Bill leaned back, hands up, saying, "Hey, I didn't kick him out, don't blame me." But the cameras caught the moment Harry was guided off stage, his voice still echoing as he argued with producers off mic. The audience sat in stunned silence until Bill finally broke it with a joke, saying, "Well, folks, guess I won't be invited to tea anytime soon." The laughter that followed was uneasy, but the show moved on. The aftermath was immediate. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of Harry storming off were circulating across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Hashtags like Harry vs Bill and Harry walkout began trending across both the UK and the US. Fans were divided, some accusing Bill of being cruel and insensitive, others criticizing Harry for being too thin-skinned to handle tough questions. News outlets across the globe seized on the story, turning it into front-page drama. Late-night hosts replayed the clip endlessly, making their own jokes about the royal meltdown. Harry's representatives quickly issued a statement saying that the prince had been blindsided by disrespectful questions and that he would not allow his family's pain to be trivialized. Bill responded the next night on his show, defending his line of questioning, saying, "If you sit on a throne, even a metaphorical one, expect someone to test how solid it is." The back and forth fueled the fire, with commentators, analysts, and royal watchers weighing in for weeks. Critics in the UK pointed to the clash as evidence of Harry's inability to adapt outside the royal bubble. They argued that by demanding control of the narrative, he was acting less like a free citizen and more like a royal, expecting deference. Meanwhile, supporters in the US praised him for standing up against what they saw as Bill's relentless mockery. The debate became not just about Harry and Bill, but about the role of media satire and whether celebrities, especially royals, deserved special treatment. Behind-the-scenes reports revealed that Harry left the studio furious, refusing to speak to producers or staff as he was escorted out. Witnesses said his team argued with security while Bill remained calm, joking with the audience. During the commercial break, insiders at the network admitted the clash was the most dramatic moment the show had seen in years, though some worried it would make other high-profile guests hesitant to appear in the future. As the days passed, the story evolved into a larger cultural conversation about fame, privilege, and accountability. Should Prince Harry be free to shape his narrative without criticism, or was Bill Maher right to challenge him publicly? Was the meltdown a product of Harry's personal pain or evidence of a sense of entitlement that clashed with modern media expectations, which